This is worked example 6 from chapter 6.03, applications of simultaneous equations. It's on page 247. So I'm going to read the problem because it wouldn't copy and paste, and it's more than my typing on my tablet can do. A manufacturer sells shirts for $26. The amount received for selling N shirts is given by the equation A equals 26N. So that's the return. It's not quite the profit, but it's the return that you'll get for selling the number of shirts. And the amount it costs to make N shirts is given by the equation A equals 1,100 plus 4N. The break-even point for the manufacturer is when the value of N and the cost of production is the same as the revenue. The maximum production of shirts is 300. All right. A says draw graphs on the same set of axes. So draw a graph. Okay, now in this section, because it's about applications, I would probably go off onto the internet, and that's what I'm going to do, and use Desmos, because all we're doing is showing that we can understand how to use simultaneous equations. But that doesn't help you in an exam. So let's do, I won't draw the graph by hand, but I'm going to work it out so we have some coordinates and we could do that. So if we take the first equation, the cost or the amount that we would get from selling N number of shirts. Let's make N. If I sell no shirts, how much return do I get? No surprise there. And if I have 100 shirts, now I've chosen 100 because they said 300 was the maximum. And also, if I read through to part C, it says determine profit and loss for 30 shirts and 110 shirts. So looking at the numbers actually in the problem, that helped me to determine that I wanted to use N equals 100. Let's just substitute those in and find out what it is. I need 2 points for this line, so 26 times 0 here. Guess what? If you make no shirts, you get no return. So 0, 0 is the first one. All right, now, what if I make 100 shirts? What return will I get from selling 100 shirts? And that would be 2,600. So if I sell 100 shirts, I will get a return of 2,600. Using those 2 points, I could now plot the line on a set of axes if I was doing this in an exam. All right, now, we've only done one equation. Let's do the other one. We're going to use the same points. So this equation tells me how much it actually costs to produce each shirt. I'm going to use N equals 0 and N equals 100 again. And so if I substitute that value in, times, that's not 40, that's 4 times 0, sorry. Even without making any shirts, obviously it costs some sort of money to set up the machinery. So the first point in this is for no shirts, it still costs $1,100. Now, if I substitute in what does it cost to produce 100 shirts, it's going to be equal to 1,000, that becomes 400, add that on, 1,500. So if I produce 100 shirts, it only costs me $1,500. All right, so with these 2 coordinates, I could draw another line for this equation. All right, I'm not going to do it that way here. That would be horrendous on my on my tablet, but I'm going to pop over and see if I can show you on Desmos. So I'm praying that I'm still recording. Here we go. I'm going to type in, I can bring up the keyboard, type in the first equation. A is equal to 26N, and press enter, and there is my first line. And then the second equation, coming down here, A is equal to 1,100N, plus 4N, back to the numbers, see what I don't like. And now press enter again. And I should have a blue line. Now I don't at the moment. Let's zoom out and see what we can see. So somewhere here, remember we've got to go right up. There we go, starting to get an origin. Okay. All right, so you can see that the 2 points do intersect. And if I put my cursor, not move it, but try and tap on there, it will give me the point of intersection. And you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but the point of its intersection is 50 and 1,300. So I break even. So if I come back to my whiteboard, the answer to that question, having graphed it, is that I break even. This is B, this is A, that was information for A. I break even at 51,300. So I start to break even at 50 shirts, returns $1,300, and also would cost me 1,000. So this amount at 50 shirts, it costs me to produce, and also it cost me to produce, and also I get that same return when I sell them for $26 in each shop. So at 50 shirts, this number is the same. So that's when we break even. Okay, so that's B. And C is when we do determine the profit or loss for the number of shirt orders. And the first one says 30 shirts. All right, now, given that I've just said I break even at 50 shirts, we know we're going to make a loss here. So how do I actually work out what loss it's going to be? I'm going to substitute A equals, I'm going to substitute N equals 30 into both equations. So this is the A equals 26N is the first one. And that's what I will get it as a return, okay? And if I put 30 in there, I'll go 26 times 30. Let me have a look. 26 times, here's my calculator. Probably you've done it faster in your head. I haven't done this one beforehand. 26 times 30 will give me 780. So that's how much money I will get back from selling 30 shirts. And the cost to produce them is equal to 1100 plus 4N, but N in this case is 30. I just realised I left that line out. All right, so bear with me as I put this into my calculator. It's 1,220. Okay, so here the loss is going to be equal to, it costs me 1,220 minus the 780. 1220 minus $780, and I lose $440. So if I only make 30 shirts, I'm going to be at a loss. If you had done it the other way around, I think the exercise book does it the other way around, 780 minus the profit minus the loss, the cost, you end up with a negative 440. So that works out that it's already a loss. Because we had done 30, we already knew that 30 was less than 50, so we were going to make a loss. Okay, and so let's see how much profit we make then if we sell, what was the other option? Number 2. Number 2 option is if we make 110 shirts. All right, so now we should be making a profit because we break even at 50. So let's see whether that's true. N equals 26 times N. And that will give me my return or my profit. It's not really profit. And then it's how much money I get back. And then the cost is going to be equal to a... Right, so if I substitute 110 in here, 26 times 110, and if I put 110 in here, I end up with 1,100 plus 440. That's 4 times 110. Just making it go. Sorry, I'm going across the page so I don't have to scroll for you. So 26 times 110 gives me 2,860. And if the cost is 1,100 again, plus 440, probably could have done that in my head, 1,540. So in this case, because 110 is greater than that 50, I know that I'm going to get a profit. So a profit this time is equal to how much I got paid, how much I got back from selling the shirts minus the cost of producing them, and that will give me 2,860 minus the 1,540. Oops. And it gives me a profit of 1,320.